Hey, how everybody doing? Welcome back. This is another episode of Indie Author Insights. It's a series where independent authors that have already gone through the publishing process, they understand a little more about marketing and they have learned some things. Some learned it through training, some learned it the hard way. And they just come back and they share a little bit of what they've learned because there are people out there that have some great writing. They've done some great writing. They put their heart into it. And the most intimidating part of it is the publishing process. So they come back and they share some of what they learned in hopes of someone hearing the things that they're saying and maybe it'll help them out a little bit. I am C. Miller, the chief editor at Sugar Publishing LLC, and I am going to share a little bit with you today. It's a little insight myself. You may be a writer. You may be a great writer. You may be one of the best writers ever. But before you get to that place and you're ready to publish, or before you decide on whether you want to take the traditional publishing route or the self-publishing route, or maybe you want to use a subsidiary company like ours, you want to ask yourself two things, two very important questions about your writing. You want to ask yourself, who am I writing to? This deals with your target audience. It's important that you understand the target audience because it will help you maintain the tone of your writing. For instance, if you're writing to an age group between 13 and 18, say you're writing something along the lines of science fiction like Harry Potter or something like that, you know that that's being written for young people between the age of 13 and 18. So there's a certain language selection that you have to employ. You're not gonna get over into the technical writing. You're not gonna write it from an instructive perspective. And I don't know if a lot of people ask themselves that question before they go into publishing. Be true to yourself and understand more about your audience while you're going through the process of putting the writing together. Some people that did a phenomenal job, like this young lady right here. Her name's Melanie Johnson out of Mississippi. And the book is called Womanly Wisdom, What They Couldn't Tell Me. And the story in this book that she shares deals with her experience with domestic violence and abuse. She rather candid about some of the things that she went through in hopes that it will help somebody that may be going through a similar situation and it will remind them that they're not alone. And she makes herself available for speakings, but she had to know that this is going to be my audience, right? She wouldn't try to sell this to sports enthusiasts. She wouldn't, try to sell this to poetry lovers. So it's only a certain audience that she's going to market this book to. Now, there'll be people that'll buy it just for the sake of supporting her. But the people that she wrote it for, there's a specific audience. Sister Kimberly Dua Boulder. She wrote this from the perspective of the woman that wears many hats. She's the mother, she's a wife, she's a daughter, a sister, a friend, a businesswoman, a public speaker, and sometimes she understands through her own experiences, she understands the weight that could put on you. So she's an incredible writer. So she wrote this book of poetry called Sincerely Dua, and she shares what probably only the people that's going through some of the same thing are the poetry lovers. So see, she has a dual market. She will get poetry lovers and she will get the women that have been going through some of the same things and dealing with the burden of being the mom, the wife, the daughter, the sister, the friend, the organizer, the career woman, wearing all those hats. She did that and expressed that beautifully through poetry, but she understands that my audience will be poetry lovers and women that understand the burden and the joys or the emotions associated with wearing all those different hats. I wrote this book, The Husband, the Wife, and Their God. Now, this book was written for a relationship-focused audience. It's either people that are in relationships and they're considering getting married, people that are married, or people that are married and considering getting a divorce, especially. There's a chapter in here on being unequally yoked, and it's called The Husband, the Wife, and Their God for a reason, because it's going to be impossible to be a husband and a wife without God. It's holy matrimony. So this book was written first for people that are relationship focused, that want to give attention to their relationship and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? What could I be doing better? And where did we get off at? How do we structure our relationship to reinforce it and get the most out of it so we can be the best that we can be to one another? And you can't do that without God. And this book was written in hopes of being a reminder of that. So who's the target audience? Relationship focused people and Christian believers. That's it. Somebody else may pick up this book, but it was written for a specific audience. That's the thing that you have to keep in mind when you're writing. That's the thing that you have to consider when you get to the point where you think you're ready to publish your book. Am I pointed? Do I understand my target market? And I am zoned in and focused on my target market so particularly that I have considered them when I was designing the cover. I considered them when I was choosing the title. I considered them not only when I was writing the book, but when I was maintaining the tone and the temper of the language of the book. And I will consider them in my marketing and my presentation. And that's something that you want to give attention to coming out the gate. It's not just about, because anybody could publish. Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Lulu, all those places have made it so easy to just package a book. But it's a difference in packaging a book like this and publishing a book. When you publish a book, you have taken a professional approach, right? And Amazon is congested with people that knew how to get a book packaged, but they weren't sure how to publish. So if you ever need any help, by all means, Sugar Publishing LLC, that's what we do. That's what we do. You can contact us. You can go to Sugar, SHUGA. You know what? The link will be in the description below. And I'll leave the link to those books in case you want to look at them and check them out. We're not only concerned with getting your book on the shelf, but we're concerned with the longevity of your book and what your book represents, because your book is a representation of you. And once we come alongside you and agree to help you throughout that process, then your book becomes a representation of us. So that's why you have Indie Author Insight videos. Some of my close friends, great, they've done some awesome work. They continue to write, they continue to learn, and they come back and they share their insight. So you won't have to work as hard and you won't have to bump your head, and you will publish a phenomenal piece of literature. By all means, subscribe to the channel. Follow us at Sugar LLC on all social media channels. Follow me at C Miller 2020 Vision on all social media channels. Love you. See you guys next time. Thanks a lot.